Okay, this is April the 23rd, 2010. This is going to start a new series of videos that I'm going to do. All of y'all who are familiar with the Ford pickup videos I've done with putting the Crown Vic suspension and engine, drivetrain, electrical, and other components from police cars into that, are familiar with how I do this. This is a little bit different project though. This is a 1972 VW Fastback. This was my first car that I drove. Let me give you a little bit of history. My parents bought this car new in October of '72 at DePaul Motors in Gadsden, Alabama. I was probably about, I guess I was 6 years old at the time, nearly 7. And no, I guess I was 5. Let's see. I don't know. Anyway, I was in kindergarten. Let's put it that way. I can't do the math right now. I'm 43 now, so do the math yourself. Anyway, this car was served as our family car for many years. In the early 80s, when I was a teenager and started driving, I learned how to drive on this car. It was my first car I drove in high school. Me and my wife had our first blind date in this car, and we drove it until we got married. And then I won't go into the details of what's happened to it the last 20 years, but it hasn't been good. It's been happening to, when I went in the military, it had to get kind of pushed over to the side. Then I had a family, and we just had to kind of put this thing on the back burner. The last 10 years it's been sitting in my shop, the house, and it has been sitting around for about 20 years of neglect without being driven. And there's another story of why it's not got the interior and engine in it, but I don't want to get into that right now. If you want to know, you can email me and I'll tell you the story. But anyway, so here we are in 2011 now. And what I'm going to do here is me and my students are going to try our best to get this car back in stock factory condition. As you can see, all the interior is missing in it. We're going to have to put a passenger side pan half in it. Dash pads missing, gauges missing, door panels, pretty much everything in the interior is missing. I think I've got a bead on where some of these parts are at. And then of course the next biggie, or the biggest thing I should say, will be the engine. I had to tow it over here, so I had to strap the transaxle up so it wouldn't drag the ground. But I'll have to get an engine for it. The big challenge I'm wanting to do is to put the original electronic fuel injection back on it, or at least some reasonable close facsimile of it. We'll see how that goes. I guess if it don't work, there's always some other options, but we'll see what the parts are. We're coming towards the end of the school year, so that means that we probably won't be able to do much to it here in the next few months. I'm going to be more parts gathering. I'll try to, whenever I maybe get a new part or something like that, update just like I did with the pickup truck. But the big thing is it's going to, oh, my finger's in the way. That's real nice. The big thing is when this fall gets here and the new school year starts, hopefully I'll have most of the parts we need to start getting an engine for it, do some other stuff. I've got a wire welder, so maybe I can find a pan half for this thing and we can cut this one out and weld a new one in. The trunk, let's see, the trunk is about, that's most of the parts that I've got missing. You see, I do have a few engine parts left over from the engine I used to have in it. And this was something I used to put on when I was a teenager. These right here were little fiberglass scoops, and they would sit on the side of the vent right here, and it'd help it put more air back in for cooling purposes. I don't know if I put those back on or not. I may, just for the fun of it, since I've already got the holes in there for it. But as you can see, the door's still closed quite nice on it, even though this car's been in a few fender benders. Just goes to speak for the craftsmanship of these cars. I mean, Not dogging the other Volkswagens, but man, these things really have good doors. Solid body. Only major amount of rust is, of course, the floorboard. And those of you who are familiar with air-cooled Volkswagens from the early 70s, I notice a lot of them do this, both Beetles and buses and all, but this flaking up, rusting, and then the whole paint just peeling away. I'm not sure how I'm going to address that. I've got a sandblaster, but I'm not sure what type of material I should use in the sandblaster to get this rust out. But this is probably the worst spot right here. There's a little bit of a pinhole right here. Yeah, right there's a pinhole. So I don't know what we'll get when we start sandblasting in there. That may be a problem. I don't know. Like I said, I do have a welder. We got a sandblaster. Hopefully we'll have all the stuff we need to get it going right. Anyway, and for those guys that are on the top 3 emailing list, somebody was asking about the age of it. That is the manufacture date of it, 472. And that's about it. Love the way those doors close. Nice. Anyway, we got a long ways to go, but hopefully we'll eventually get her roadworthy. Y'all stay touched, and we'll talk to you later.